Good evening to you. Thank you for joining us on News 360. It is coming to you live from Adesawe in Kandakra. I am Ayisha Yakubu Khalid.
I am Noble Crosby Annan, and these are the top stories of the bulletin tonight.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal,
EcoBank.
Vice President Professor Annan Ayisha warns teachers against abusing students while also condemning attacks against teachers.
Also tonight, residents of some island communities in the Ada East District say inadequate life jackets pose a risk to them while crossing the Volta Lake.
With housing demand outpacing supply, we explore solutions to addressing Ghana's housing deficits.
Much later in international news, President Donald Trump says he thinks hostages held in Gaza will start to be freed very soon, as mediators are set to meet in Egypt on Monday. Welcome to the program. We're live also on all our social media platforms at TV3 Ghana. Let's get interactive there and let's settle for the details of the stories.
We're starting off with education, as the Vice President, Professor Annan Ayisha has lashed out at teachers who violate the rights and abuse students. She said government will not hesitate to sanction teachers who abuse the trust given them and disgrace the teaching profession. The Vice President was speaking at the 2025 Ghana Teacher Prize Awards in Ho.
Support and collaboration, I believe we can do even more. Our education sector still faces some infrastructural and human resource challenges. But even in the face of these, our teachers have continued to improvise what they have. And I want to salute all of you. We know that our teachers need support from all stakeholders. It takes a community to support teachers as they shape our leaders for the future. And this is why reports of indisciplined violence in our schools are worrisome. The Ministry of Education and the leadership of the education services will deal decisively with attacks on our teachers, especially physical assaults. In the same light, leadership cannot ignore those teachers and others in positions of power who abuse our young people. The recent events involving one of our teachers in a management position is a case in point. As teachers, we must always remember that we are placed in a position of trust, protection, and empathy. The power given to us is to facilitate learning. We will not wait to apply sanctions to those who violate this trust. And please, transfers are not punishment, so they should never be used to those who abuse our children, who betray their trust, and those who disgrace our profession. Government has also decided to revive PTAs to encourage broader participation in forming our young learners. The government greatly appreciates the level of collaboration between us and our teacher unions thus far, especially our recent frequent meetings and social dialogue.
Let's stay a while longer on this issue. We've been joined by Thomas Musa Tanko. He is the General Secretary of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT. Good evening, sir, and thank you for joining us on News 360. Mr. Tanko,
thank you very much. Good evening to your good self and to all your viewers.
Right. Mr. Tanko, it is clear that the protection and safety of teachers is key to government. But hearing what the Vice President just said, does that reassure teachers?
I think that it is heartwarming to hear from His Excellency the Vice President on this particular issue. Because if you look at once government has spoken, or once the Vice President, Her Excellency has spoken, it is our belief that they will walk the talk to ensure that teachers are protected wherever they find themselves. We must take note of the topic for the day, that elevating the status of teachers for quality education. And if you look at the UNESCO declaration in 1966, it indicates clearly that when you're talking about the status of the teacher, it has to do, we are talking about standing or regard accorded teachers as demonstrated by the level of appreciation of importance of their function and competence in their workplace, and also taking into consideration their condition of service and remuneration and other material benefits accorded them relative to other professional groups. Also, to the extent that the Vice President, Her Excellency, has mentioned this particular thing, it's heartwarming. And we are hoping and expecting that the government of the day will walk the talk to make sure that teachers are protected wherever they find themselves, and also the needed benefit or the condition of service that must accompany this kind of protection will certainly see the light of day, and has indicated that there will be a 3-bedroom house built for teachers, and it is something that we are happy with, and we believe that this time around, this particular promise also will see the light of day.
Right. Professor J. Nana Opoku-Agyeman also bemoaned the abuse by some students or female students as teachers by some female students as well. As NATS, what measures are you taking to address teacher abuse in these schools?
Thank you very much. You see, we all need to appreciate. In fact, when Her Excellency mentioned this thing, it is nobody, and I repeat, no teacher will condone this particular thing. No teacher. Now, if you look at the work that we do carefully, in as much as we all condemn this particular action on the part of any person that will get himself involved in it, we need to appreciate the fact that from morning up to about 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, the teacher in the school will work as a teacher. And from that is what we call the contact hours. And so we help in the discipline and everything of the students, wherever we find ourselves. And after 3 o'clock, we engage what we call the marking, all the work that they have done. The teachers will mark, take care of all the exercises and all that. Then from around 6 o'clock thereabout, the teachers then will be guiding them. That was when they'll be preparing for their preps and all that. But in the night, the teacher will now become a watchman, and to ensure that those who are in the boarding houses will not go out. So when we are talking about love and care that the teachers have for these particular children, that one is not in question, it's not in doubt. I believe strongly that for all my lifetime, or the only work I have done is teaching. We believe that these particular children given to us, we will do everything to protect them, because the destiny of this particular country has been given to us teachers. We shape the destiny, we shape the destiny of this particular country of ours, particularly the human capital development. It has been given to us to get it done, particularly under Article 190. And so anything that will become, how do you call it, negative, or anything that will work against this particular thing or the duty committed to our hands, we will certainly have to look at it and see how it could be dealt with. And let it also be placed on record that we have the code of conduct in place. You remember, if you recall recently, or not too long ago, we have told the teachers not to cane. It is in the code of conduct. So once anything falls foul to the law, the code of conduct will have to take care of that particular person. I have heard some people say things like, no, please, teachers, we are disciplined. And I repeat, teachers, we are disciplined. And to the extent that we have that particular code of conduct with us, let the code take its course. Anytime a member falls foul to the law, team face all the tenets that we have in that code of conduct. But the children, we love them. And whatever we can do to protect them day and night, those that in our custody, we will do whatever we have within our power to make sure they are protected. That one, we pledge to do that with all our power and all our might. And the nation has teachers for that. Thank you.
Very well said, Mr. Thanko. Hopefully the students and teachers watching us this evening will take a thing or two from your submission this evening. Thank you so much for joining us on News 360. Thomas Musa Thanko is the General Secretary of the Ghana National Association of Teachers.
Let's talk about corruption now, as the Agbogbo Mafia of the Asogli State, Toguya Further, the 14th, has called on government to ensure the recovery of all looted state assets by former government appointees. He was speaking during the climax of the 2025 Asogli State Yam Festival celebration in Ho.
Recently, we seem to have succeeded in making the beautiful name Ghana almost synonymous with the word corruption. And that is why I like oral, the Operation Recover All Loot. And I want to commend the government for it, and to encourage the government to stay the course and to recover all that has been looted from the state's coffers. Of course, corruption is not limited to the public sector. It's been a very, very, very pervasive phenomenon across our country. And most entrepreneurs, private businessmen will tell you that their biggest challenge is that of corruption. Everything that we can do to end corruption in our system or to minimize it will all be steps in the right direction.
Ghana has a significant and persistent housing deficit, with figures ranging from 1.8 to over 2 million units, meaning demand far outweighs supply. In the final part on the rent and housing crisis, George Quading explores possible solutions in the wake of various affordable housing schemes by successive governments.
There is this growing fear that most Ghanaians may not be able to own their own homes before they die. Nonetheless, the pursuit to rent is equally a daunting task. In the wake of these teething challenges, the Ghana Tenants Union has called for the rent control to be scrapped due to its incompetence and inefficiency in protecting tenants.
If all of us get it at a lower price, like all of us will be happy. But what is the situation now? The only problem now is it belongs to individuals, and they decide what to do. And now it's like that's the major boom for them. Because if you don't take it, the next person will take it. And you too, you need it.
Everything is for you, the tenant. When you are about to rent a room, even in the renting law, you are not supposed to rent more than 6 months. But here, like the case, we the tenant will feel we have more. You may have a room less price, and other person will come. Oh, I'll pay more than that. Then who don't want much money? At the end of the day, the landlord have to give it to the higher pay. It's not easy. So if government can try to do something about it, I'll be glad. Because if you're a young guy and the monthly you are paying 600 for your rent, I don't know how much you get for the monthly. I don't know. Because if you have a wife and children, you pay school fees, you pay light and water. It's not easy.
Key aspects of the rent and housing crisis include housing deficit, rapid urbanization, high cost, illicit practices, and the weakness of the rent control.
Our current housing situation requires urgent and collective action. Research shows that only 5% of Ghana's population can afford to buy a house without assistance. 60% need support to access decent housing, while the remaining 35% require additional direct support, such as affordable mortgages and subsidies. As a government, our commitment is clear: to turn these words into meaningful change and build a future where no one is left behind, where every Ghanaian can access the dignity of a safe, secure home.
No amount of legislation will solve this problem. The only thing that will solve this problem naturally and easily is let us make available a lot more affordable houses. Once the houses become available, like anything else, the cost will start to drop to its true economic level.
Airbnb is fast gaining momentum in Ghana, offering substantial income to those involved. This has had an adverse impact on renting, pushing property owners to increase rent charges for the ordinary Ghanaian. The median monthly earnings for an Airbnb are around $762, with high-performing property earning over $1,443 and low-performing ones earning about $331. Actual earnings vary significantly based on location, property quality, occupancy rate, and overall market conditions. A drive through the capital exposes some unoccupied apartment whose rent charges are a total put-off. $1,000 to $2,000 monthly for studio, 1 and 2 bedroom apartments is prohibitive considering income levels in Ghana. Property owners emphasize that quoting in dollars provides some financial security. Affordable housing is a government-supported priority, partnering with developers to build and subsidize projects. But these so-called affordable homes are most times beyond the reach of the working class in both public service and private sectors. Experts suggest that the issue about rent cannot be addressed until we bridge the housing deficit, which currently is at approximately 1.8 million units as of 2021, a gap far exceeding the supply of new homes each year. And so whilst government does its part by beating down the prices for you and myself to be able to afford, we should also scale down our expectations. We should not expect marble or granite kitchens in an apartment that costs us 150,000 cedis or lesser.
I'll tell you some of the problems we have as Ghanaians. We'll say the cement is not good enough. When they use hollow blocks and it's not hard enough. Why? Is there a car coming to drive the house and impact the walls? In other jurisdictions, the walls are made of wood. Yeah. I can't ask for you to give me a house at 150,000 cedis and now demand granite rock for your walls, and then they will say no. Then they want a nice bathtub and finishing. The 150 cedis, you don't even pay for the finishing you want.
With Ghana's housing deficit growing wider by the day, the government must take decisive action by partnering with the private sector to ensure that the housing needs of the population are addressed. Government policy should ensure the protection of the rights of the working class, making sure that their meager incomes are not strained. George Queenan, TV3 News, Accra.
From one crisis to another, this time talking about Galamsey, President John Dramani Mahama at a meeting with civil society organizations on the government's anti-illegal mining effort has vowed to intensify crackdowns targeting mining kingpins. While some have lauded his government's efforts, others believe more have to be done to tackle the menace posed by illegal small-scale miners.
During a meeting with civil society organizations in Accra, President John Dramani Mahama emphasized the need to target the financiers and kingpins behind the menace, rather than just individuals involved in the mining process.
Most of those 1,400 who have been arrested are young youth who are looking for something to be able to look after themselves. And we'll prosecute them, we'll imprison them. But those who run those operations are the ones that we must be arresting and imprisoning, not these little boys. We'll catch these boys and look after them for 5 years and discharge them. But like I'm saying, maybe we can look rather for the kingpins and deal with them in a major way.
The Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayeni, also disclosed the government's intention to lay a new legislative instrument, LI, to revoke the controversial LI 2462, which allows mining in forest reserves when Parliament resumes on October 14.
We have prepared an instrument, that is LI 2505, in my office, and that will be laid in Parliament on the 14th. The Minister and I have agreed that on the 14th of October, when Parliament resumes, we'll lay that instrument to revoke the infamous LI 2462, so that there will be no basis whatsoever for anybody to tamper with, with our forest. So immediately it is laid, within 21 days, it matures, and from that time onwards, we will not have LI 2462.
Despite these efforts, political science lecturer at the University of Ghana, Dr. Joshua Jebunti Zato, believes that a state of emergency is still required to effectively deal with the Galamsey menace. According to him, this would allow for the freezing of bank accounts of Galamsey financiers, thereby crippling their operations.
I still believe that we need a state of emergency, and we need it now. Because it is within a context that we are discussing this. We are discussing Galamsey within the context of it being an existential crisis. When you say something is an existential crisis, you are saying that our very survival, not just as Ghanaians, that as a human species, is being threatened. When your very survival as a human being or as a species is being threatened, you adopt what I call an all of the above approach. You don't go into your toolbox and select the tools and leave some tools there. You adopt what I call an all of the above approach. The fact that we found your excavator at a Galamsey site, we then have the power to believe that you are a Galamseyer. They will freeze your account.
For Catholic priest Friar and Dr. Joseph Kwame Blay, winning the fight against Galamsey may be a distant reality if there is no strong political will and citizen behavioral changes.
It has even reached the point to spiritualize, to know that to sin against creation is to sin against God. The good will is there, but then where is also the political will, the vim, to really crack the whip?
So far, the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources has announced the revocation of 55 small-scale mining licenses, with 907 under review for possible revocation. The government also says it has intensified operations against illegal mining activities, seizing 425 excavators and arresting 1,345 individuals nationwide. Member of Parliament for Tamale North and Deputy Roads Minister Al-Hassan Suhini reiterated the government's commitment to protecting forests and water bodies from the impact of Galamsey.
Action is being taken to streamline and, if you like, clarify the process of importing an excavator and also monitoring the usage of excavators in this country. It is clear. The blue water guards are people that are on the ground, also serving their purpose. Yes, they are just at about 1,000, and we need more.
Galamsey has become a significant environmental and economic challenge in Ghana, with the country's water bodies and forests being severely affected. The practice has also led to the displacement of communities and human rights violations. With the government determined to tackle the issue, Ghanaians are hopeful for a solution to this menace.
In other news this evening, residents of some island communities in the Adan East District say inadequate life jackets poses risks to them whilst crossing the Volta Lake. Last year, TV3 reported an inadequate number of life jackets for passengers, after which several were donated. But when Joseph Armstrong returned to the Adan riverbank at Kpongkpongpanya, boat and canoe operators said they do not have enough life jackets to give out.
One of life jackets here at the Adan riverbank has gone to sleep again. As you see, many more people arriving without wearing of the life jacket. We've reported on this in many times, and where I stand most of the time, once while hearing the news that there's a boat accident and the passengers on board are not in life jacket, leading to some casualties. Yet you could see them arriving again, and once again they are not in a life jacket.
Despite continuous education on safety, many residents living along and on island communities still underestimate the importance of wearing life jackets. Almost every boat arriving from island communities is seen packed with passengers, most without life jackets. Boat operators here say they have not received new life jackets in a long while, forcing passengers to cross without them.
I've heard that some time ago, like they brought some, but it's with the leaders in the office. So sometimes we have been seeing the life jacket with some of our friends, and if we ask them, they said they are buying it. Some they keep it in the house and they have been selling it to other people.
Others, however, claim there are enough life jackets, but some individuals at assembly are allegedly selling them.
People used to complain that they share life jacket to us and we are not wearing it. It's a lie. The one they give us is only 5. For instance, my boat take like 25 people. I can't use that 5 life jacket for 25 people. So they ask me to go and buy it ourselves. Before you buy it to someone who is in the house without operating boat, you get it from that person. And it is very, very expensive. You get one life jacket like 500 cedis 450, 300 cedis. Hopefully, state authorities will pay more attention to the activities here at the Adan River Bank and ensure that boat riders insist on their passengers wearing life jackets.
Joseph Armstrong, Gold, TV3, Adam.
And now, the Acting Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Samuel Kaba Korea, says some 1,800 clinicians and health staff have been trained in the surveillance of the Mpox disease. Speaking at the sub-national launch of the Mpox vaccine at New Takrady in the Western region, he disclosed that 3 persons have so far died nationally from the disease.
I want to assure all of you, especially those families affected by the disease, that we don't intend to sleep, we will not rest, and we will actually not sleep until we contain the Mpox and our people are safe. That is the reason why we are here. Currently, the Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service have conducted the following. We have been able to train over 1,800 clinicians and other health staff in major public, quasi-government facilities and selected private sector facilities on Mpox and its surveillance. We have effectively tested samples at designated laboratories for Mpox and efficiently managed all the cases. And we shall keep our campaign of awareness and prevention across the entire country.
Still on health, the Ghana AIDS Commission, in collaboration with UNAIDS and key partners, has successfully launched the National HIV Response Sustainability Roadmap Part 1. This strategic document represents a bold shift towards a nationally owned HIV response fully aligned with global best practices and integrated into Ghana's broader health and development agenda.
Key objectives of the roadmap is to strengthen country ownership, domestic resource mobilization, and health system strengthening. The Ghana AIDS Commission has been exploring sustainable financing options to support the national HIV response. The Commission is also leveraging private sector involvement in HIV financing to ensure long-term sustainability of care and support services. By launching the National HIV Response Sustainability Roadmap Part A, Ghana is taking significant steps towards achieving its HIV targets and ensuring a sustainable response to the epidemic.
The biggest challenge was what? Political will and the financing system. Once the political will is there, the financing system, there are various ways you can get around it. Now, a greater part of that is that the clinical care of HIV management is being integrated in the NHIA. Ghana AIDS Commission has had several meetings with the NHIA, and we are now working on the actuals of engaging that whole clinical aspect into the NHIA. Once that is done, then the other aspect is the chronic care aspect, the human rights, the prevention issue. Then we can do in a greater way.
The Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Dr. Agnes Namumulati, said the roadmap is a clear signal that the government is taking full responsibility for financing and sustaining HIV programs.
We need to look at the issue of sustainability seriously, especially sustainable financing of our health sector, especially HIV/AIDS in Ghana. It's not just about us going out there, having the other sources of funding available to work on AIDS or HIV programs. It is about us looking within and then mobilizing nationally to ensure that whatever comes from outside will be an add-on.
According to UNAIDS, an estimated 354,000 people in Ghana are living with HIV with prevalence at 1.66%. More than 15,000 people were infected in 2024. New infections are highest among young women aged 15 to 24, a trend that underscores the need for stronger prevention and sustained government-led action.
You're watching News360, also on our social media platforms at TV3 Ghana. We're back with more stories after this break. Don't go away.
Why are more and more professionals choosing flamingo paint?
As an interior decorator, I aim for that beautiful, elegant look.
For and a risk factor for cardiovascular diseases and one of the leading causes of adult hospital admissions and deaths in Ghana. Now, recent studies confirm that Ghana is experiencing a rise in hypertension cases, which pose a significant and growing public health challenge. There is more in this report put together by Christopher Amwako. We'll bring you that story in a subsequent bulletins or later. But in the meantime, early detection remains crucial in the fight against breast cancer to ensure chances of survival are high during treatment. However, in Ghana, close to 60% to 70% of cases are diagnosed at advanced stages, making treatment more challenging.
The World Health Organization reports 2.3 million new cases of breast cancer are recorded annually worldwide. In Ghana, more than 4,650 women are diagnosed with breast cancer each year, with close to 60 to 70% of cases reported at advanced stages. Alarmingly, about 2,000 Ghanaians die of the disease each year, while financial gap, stigma, myths and misconceptions remains bottlenecks hindering progress in management of the disease in the country. As Ghana joins the world to mark Breast Cancer Awareness Month, calls intensify for early detection.
I think it has come to a point where Ghana Health Service is taking this up as a public health concern. For now, radiotherapy is not on NHI. So if this Mahama Care covers that, that will be a huge gain for our patients. But also we need government and non-governmental agencies to also see how we can decentralize cancer centers and infrastructure. So if it would be amazing that we could have a radiotherapy machine or a cancer center in each region.
President of the Breast Society of Ghana, Dr. Josephine Insafo, further cautioned against alternative treatment options.
We will continue to talk, we will continue to educate, and we will continue to address these myths and misconceptions. You know, the other challenge too is a lot of people try all sorts of alternative treatment, and they come and the disease is so advanced. Breast cancer is not a spiritual disease. It's not something that we can treat with herbs. Even though I must admit, we may not have enough cancer centers, but they're certainly available, and we need to be able to access these.
This year's Breast Cancer Awareness Month is on the theme, My Why, encouraging individuals to share their personal reasons for advocating for breast cancer awareness.
We're still staying on health and going back to an earlier story. It's a major risk factor for cardiovascular diseases and one of the leading causes of hospital adult admissions and deaths in Ghana. And recent studies confirm that Ghana is experiencing a rise in hypertension cases, and they pose a significant and growing public health challenge. My colleague Christopher Marco put together this report.
Hypertension is a global public health menace, often linked to lifestyle factors such as unhealthy diets and lack of exercise. The burden of hypertension is especially high in low and middle income countries like Ghana, where 2/3 of cases are found largely due to increased risk factors in recent decades. According to the Ministry of Health, approximately 50% of all adults in Ghana are hypertensive. People with high blood pressure may not experience symptoms. Checking one's blood pressure is the only way to know their status. 76-year-old Abudu Alfred say has been living with hypertension since 2018.
I feel normal because other people have been. I'm not the first. I've seen people suffering from hypertension, so I don't have any problem. So even my wife is also suffering from BP. It's a BP patient. So I don't, it's not a problem. Because I know that once you have it, you are a normal human being.
For him, being hypertensive is not a death sentence.
All people suffering from patient and not, from BP does not mean they're out of life. I mean, they even live longer than the normal people. So the only thing is they should continue to take the normal diet, like the diet that will not contain, that will not provoke the BP, and also have some exercise. Even you can have some rest, and then also, and then stress. Forget, don't think so much about this, you know.
Pregnant women and the youth are also vulnerable to hypertension.
What is also disturbing is that the profile of our patients with hypertension, we tend to see them in very young reproductive age group. Okay, so in their 30s and their 40s with very high blood pressures. Okay, and unfortunately, most of these patients are diagnosed with hypertension when they have developed a complication of the hypertension. So they come in with heart failure, come with kidney disease, come in with stroke, and then the hypertension is diagnosed at that time. And then
in pregnancy, gestational hypertension or pregnancy-induced hypertension begins after 20 weeks and can lead to serious complications. A midwife at the Salaga Government Hospital, Brahma Zalia, has been explaining the dangers of pregnancy-induced hypertension.
And this condition tends to affect the placenta. It reduces the oxygen flow to the baby. Hence, these babies, most of them are born, they are either prematurely or underweight. They come, the weight is not that good. And this condition is a condition that can lead to a lot of complications. One is a multi-organ failure. Those who get severe one can get any of their organ failure, especially the kidneys. Some will get temporary blindness, but with time it tends to resolve. So it has a lot of implications both to the mother and that of the baby.
According to the World Health Organization, hypertension contributes to about 12.8% of all deaths and accounts for 3.7% of total disability-adjusted life years globally.
The problem is that less than half of these patients with hypertension are aware that they are hypertensive. So we can have studies that have told us that up to a third of these people, only about a third of them know that they are hypertensive. Okay, so, and then if you break the figure down to those who are actually on treatment and have their BP control, the figures are even much lower. Okay, so hypertension is a huge problem.
To achieve the global target of reducing hypertension prevalence by 25% by 2025, World Health Organization and the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention launched the Global Heart Initiative in 2016. Public health authorities in Ghana must explore more opportunities to reduce hypertension cases in the country. Christopher Mwako, TV3 News, Tamale.
Let's now take you to the Upper East region, where mental health nurses are calling for support to improve healthcare delivery as the 5 northern regions lack a state-owned mental hospital. To make matters worse, there's only one psychiatrist in the Upper East region, supported by just a few mental health nurses. Our Upper East regional correspondent, Tanko Mohamed Rabiu, has filed this report.
According to the Upper East Regional Health Directorate, mental health conditions account for more than 2,000 outpatient visits each year. At the mental health unit of the regional hospital, mental health nurses consult, detain and prescribe medications to clients who visit daily. Serious mental health cases are referred to the southern part of Ghana due to the lack of a state-owned mental hospital in the 5 northern regions. Clients who can afford private mental hospitals are referred there for medical attention. Angelina Najat Anduba, a mental health nurse, spoke about how the situation is affecting the quality of mental health delivery in the region.
Majority of the cases that come are psychiatric emergencies that need to be admitted. But we don't have a ward facility made for psychiatry ward, so that all our clients will be admitted there. If the whole Upper East region has one psychiatrist who is working in a child hospital, it means we have to refer our cases from our regional hospital to the child hospital, which shouldn't be so. So we really need a psychiatrist so that it will lessen the burden of we the nurses too.
Another nurse, Janet Edu Asante, shared the frustrations they go through.
Patients find it very difficult purchasing medication. So at least if the health insurance can take parts, there are some that cannot enroll themselves in case their health insurance expires. So we plead that if the government can take it up, renew it for them without any payment.
Gifty Atampuguri, a public health nurse, says more human resources are needed in mental health care.
The first point of contact is usually a nurse, a midwife. And these are people that are on the front line, yet lack the basic skills or expertise to render quality mental health services. We need to fill this gap. Now what are we doing? We're empowering these nurses how to respond, how to identify early signs and symptoms of mental health challenges. They use their skills to start to initiate relevant conversations, ask relevant questions, and give the necessary support.
Meanwhile, Public Health at Your Doorstep, a community-based organization, has initiated training for frontline workers and traditional rulers on mental health skills development.
And now the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture, Amelia Arthur, has bemoaned the persistent illegal activities by some fishermen which contribute to the depletion of fish stock in the country's oceans and river bodies. This came to light when the minister led officials from her ministry to engage with fishers and canoe owners at Elimina in the central region.
As part of her working visit to obtain first-hand information and engage with fishers since assuming office, the sector minister and her entourage first visited the Elimina fish processing plant. The fish processing plant was constructed and commissioned under the previous NDC administration in 2016 but was later abandoned by the NPP regime. A tour of the $7.48 million facility revealed serious structural defects. Several essential pieces of equipment were also found rusted due to years of neglect. Later, in an engagement with fishers comprising fishermen, fishmongers, and canoe owners, the minister expressed concern over the neglect of the fish processing plant by the previous government. She, however, revealed that plans have been initiated to bring the facility back into use.
I have received expressions of interest in revitalizing that space through a public-private partnership arrangement. So I came to have a look at the place to see what is possible, and also to meet with the fishermen and discuss the new law that has been passed and concerns that they have.
Interacting with fishers, Emilia Arthur bemoaned the persistent use of illegal fishing methods by some operators. She also noted that government is currently reviewing a report to determine whether to maintain the cancellation of the closed season.
We had closed season, 2 months closed season for industrial vessels. We had 1 month closed season for semi-industrial, but we did not observe a closed season for artisanal fishers.
The Adesa Pavilion of Labadi Beach Hotel came alive this weekend as Ghana's premier beachfront hotel hosted its annual Oktoberfest Beer Festival. Joseph Armstrong reports that the festival brought a swell of German culture, music, food, and festivity to Ghana's capital.
The two-night event marked the latest edition of Oktoberfest in Accra, an event modeled after Munich's world-renowned festival. Hundreds of patrons, locals, expatriates, diplomats and visitors turned out each night, drawn in by the promise of traditional Bavarian tunes, hearty fare, and of course, plentiful beer. One of the highlights was the performance by the Bayern Boys Band, flown in from Munich. Their music provided an authentic soundtrack to the festivities, with on-par instrumental folk and popular Bavarian drinking songs keeping spirits high. Beyond music, the festival offered attendees a culinary journey with typical German food, as well as local adaptations and side offerings, ensuring there was something for everyone. The venue was transformed with decor evocative of Oktoberfest, long communal tables, festive lights, and floral garlands, creating a convivial atmosphere of celebration and camaraderie. The managing director of Labadi Beach Hotel, David Idriafo, says this celebration is aimed at boosting domestic tourism.
We are proudly Ghanaian and fiercely global, and we want to showcase what we can do. We want to make sure that our customers get the quality, what they are looking for, and also not to feel that they are out of Germany. So once you are here, it feels that you are in Germany.
The managing director of Guinness Ghana also advised the general public to choose beer over spirits drinks.
When you drink a beer, sometimes it's a very low alcohol profile because it's only 5% of alcohol. And when you drink a beer also, you drink for the economy also for Ghana.
Some of the patrons shared their experience.
This is my second time. I was here last year. It wasn't packed like this, but this year it's massive.
It's quite interesting to be in Ghana, in the comfort of Ghana, to experience the German culture. It's a very nice program, and this is my first time, so I kind of really love it a lot.
This year's event underlines how Labadi Beach Hotel has established itself as Ghana's go-to venue for Oktoberfest, sustaining interest in this foreign cultural import and giving it a Ghanaian twist. The success also points to growing appetite among Ghanaians for cultural variety and global experiences.
This is News 360. It's now time to bring you some sports news.
African Republic and Comoros. Now, Michael Otieje is stationed with the Black Stars in Morocco and has all the updates on the team.
Wednesday, as early as Wednesday, the Black Stars could secure qualification to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And here is how they can do that. At the moment, the Black Stars top World Cup qualifying Group I in Africa, 3 points ahead of Madagascar. Now, if the Black Stars beat Central African Republic in Meknes in Morocco, the Black Stars will stay at least 3 points ahead of Madagascar, but Madagascar are playing against Comoros, the two closest sides to Ghana. If Madagascar are unable to win, say they get a draw or they are defeated, the Black Stars will qualify with a win. Now, Comoros, if they win, will still not be able to hand down the Black Stars until the Black Stars lose against the Central African Republic. So essentially, all the Black Stars need to do on Wednesday is to win their game against the Central African Republic in Meknes and hope that Madagascar doesn't win. Now, granted that doesn't happen, then the big party could happen at the Accra Sports Stadium. It means that the Black Stars will go into the final day still 3 points ahead of Madagascar if Madagascar wins. The Black Stars will have a far superior goal difference because that plays a major part, and at the moment it's about a goal difference of +6 because that is the first step in which FIFA determines who qualifies. So whatever it is, it looks really good for the Black Stars. On Wednesday, they have to beat the Central African Republic and hope Madagascar doesn't win.
Let's talk about the Ghana Premier League, where Asante Kotoko's return to the Babayara Sports Stadium ended in frustration on Sunday afternoon as they were held to a goalless draw by the informed Heart of Lions. The Heart of Lions have now moved top of the Ghana Premier League table. Here are both coaches reacting after the result.
Some couple of chances that they shouldn't have done it, but that is football. You make mistakes and they capitalize on that and punish you. When the other side also make a mistake, you capitalize and punish them. Now, it was a ding-dong battle, very hard-fought battle, and we splitted the points, so it's okay for me. It is not even the top. It is the unbeaten run for the 4 matches, and it speaks volume.
I'm okay. It's better than you losing, but what I've seen is there's an improvement. We are not yet there, but there's improvement. The way we created a lot of chances, and then look at even hitting the bar and so forth. So I think it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, even though I don't like the. It's better than you losing anyway, so it's good.
All right, let's look at the results in the Ghana Premier League for match day 4. Bebshem United drew 0-0 with Hearts of Oak. Swedru All Blacks lost 1-0 to Gold Stars. Kotoko drew 0-0 with Hearts of Lions. Brekum Chelsea defeated Holy Stars by 2-0. Dreams FC drew 1-1 with Vision FC. 11 Wonders defeated Young Apostles. They lost to Young Apostles by 1-0. Hoho United defeated Karela by 4-1, and Midiama defeated Nations FC by 2-1. And that means that Bando Hearts of Lions are currently top of the Ghana Premier League table with 10 points to their name. And of course, we have the likes of BBNE Gold Stars in the conversation as well. Midiama are second with 9. Heart of Oak are third with 8. Young Apostles fourth with 7. We have Karela in there. And at the bottom, we have Holy Stars, Dreams FC, and 11 Wonders as well. That's it for the sports segment here on News360. My name is Belishan. Entertainment is up next.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by GTP Lifestyle and Napa Foods. Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil. Powered by 3 Entertainment.
Coming up right after News 360, it's a vision night on Ghana's Most Beautiful. Tonight, the stakes couldn't be higher. After weeks of dazzling performances, cultural displays, and intense competition, only 7 contestants remain. But by the end of the night, just 5 will be left standing. It's the final eviction before the grand finale. 2 beautiful, talented ladies will be saying goodbye to their dreams of wearing the crown, driving away with a brand new car, and claiming that life-changing cash prize. But you still have the power to change the game. Keep your favorite contestant in the race. Vote now and vote wisely. Now let's bring you international news.
President Donald Trump said he thinks the hostages held in Gaza will start to be freed very soon as mediators are set to meet in Egypt on Monday for indirect peace talks between Hamas and Israel. The talks come after Hamas agreed to some parts of a 20-point U.S. peace plan, including releasing hostages and handing over Gaza governance to Palestinian technocrats, but is seeking negotiations on other issues. The group's response did not mention the key demands of its disarmament and playing no future role in Gaza's governance. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has said Pyongyang has allocated strategic assets to respond to the buildup of U.S. military forces in the south. The state media KCNA reported on Sunday that Kim vowed to develop additional military measures. He added North Korea will undoubtedly develop additional military measures to prepare to respond to the buildup of U.S. forces without elaborating further. North Korea has been tightening military ties with Russia and has been supporting Russian President Vladimir Putin's war in Ukraine by sending troops and artillery, according to South Korean officials.
There's always more news on our website, 3news.com. Please log on for more. But that's our package for you tonight. I'm Noble Crosby Annan.
And I'm Ayisha Yakubu. Ghana's Most Beautiful is up next, and it's going to be a night of folk tales. Enjoy.